We're getting fancy here today, guys. As you can see, I have a pair of Rick Owens Ramones, but these ain't no dark shadow Ramones. I already did the dark shadow, and you guys kept asking for the mainline. Do the mainline, review the mainline. You guys are too good for the dark shadow. You guys just want the mainline Ramones. So that's what we're gonna do today. I got a pair of mainline Ramones from 2018. Not sure if it's fall winter 2018 or spring summer, but these are a pretty unique pair of Rick Owens Ramones because they're not the typical leather that you get with the mainline. These are a distressed leather. They have some distressing on it, pretty shiny, very, very dark leather. It's awesome, and I love the look of these mainline Ramones. And so I wanted to show these to you, and I want to do a little comparison between the dark shadow and the mainline to show you guys all the differences, because people just assume that, you know, the mainline, it's more expensive, it's leather, so it's better. And the dark shadow is just for people who don't want to spend the money on mainline or can't afford the mainline. But that's really not the case at all. That's not how you should be thinking about it. Yes, the mainline is made of more premium upper materials. They're usually made out of leather, whereas the dark shadow, you get canvas or nylon. It's just a cheaper material on the upper. But there's a lot more differences than that. And in a lot of ways, I actually prefer the dark shadows. They're more comfortable, and I tend to wear them more often than I wear the mainline. And so in this video, I'm gonna tell you why. I'm gonna discuss those differences. I'm gonna show you these Ramones in detail. So let's get started with the video. They come in this Rick Owens box, which you guys are already familiar with. When we open the box, we have these shoes in there. And then you also get a pair of black laces with them. And you get a tote bag, a Rick Owens branded tote bag. I don't know if you can see the Rick Owens right there. It's kind of hard to see. And then you also get that card that tells you a little bit more about the shoes. So let's check this out real quick. This handmade piece has been crafted with carefully selected materials. The unique elements should not be considered imperfections, but instead part of what makes this item yours alone. The leather may have been manufactured with a special dyeing, washing, or finishing treatment. Color and tonal variations, marks and veins that are present are typical of this type of natural product and guarantee your product's individuality. To preserve the original quality, avoid rubbing against or laying on light color materials. We recommend protecting your accessory from overexposure to direct sunlight, heat, or moisture. If contact with water occurs, dab with a soft, neutral cloth until absorbed. When not in use, we recommend storing in its original packaging in a cool, dry place. So the upper of the mainline Ramones is leather, as we already discussed previously, and this one's actually made out of a distressed leather, which is really, really cool. I love how this looks, which is why I got this one. If I did get the mainline, I didn't just want to get the regular mainline. I wanted to get something more unique, because every once in a while he comes out with some kind of more unique leather in the mainline Ramones, and this is one of them. So this is a distressed leather. It's shiny, it's very dark, and it's got, you know, some of these wrinkles and distressing on it. Really, really cool. I love these Ramones so much. With the mainline Ramones, you get the shark tooth sole from top to bottom. You have, of course, the zipper right here on the side. And then inside here, you have the size. This is a 42, so I'm a true to size 9.5, and this is a 42, which is a US 9. So I usually size down about half for mainline, if not a full size. And this, even sizing down half, this fits pretty big. I could probably size down a whole size, if not 1.5 sizes. It's very, very roomy. It's got the really big toe box, and the thing that makes these fit a little bit bigger than the dark shadow is that they don't have an insole on them. So if you saw my review for the dark shadow Ramones, you saw that there was an insole in there, a removable insole that was, you know, spongy, had some comfort to it. This one doesn't have anything. There's nothing in there, and it's just really, really hard in there. I don't know if you can hear that. I'm tapping on the bottom like there's no cushioning at all. It is really, really hard. It's a lot less comfortable than the dark shadow Ramones. These are heavy shoes. The soles are very thick. They don't really budge, you know, and there's no cushioning inside. I mean, when you hit this, I don't know if you can hear the sound. Hopefully you can, but it's like pretty much hitting this wood table. Like, it's just as hard as a wooden table, you know, like that's what it's like in here. You're literally just stepping right on the rubber right here. and there's no comfort at all. You can of course put an insole on it. If you want to buy an insole and put it in there, then I'd say go true to size because you're going to need the space. But if you're just going to wear it as it comes, then size down at least half, if not a whole size, because it does fit pretty big. And the zipper is a Rick Owens branded zipper, which is not always the case. I think at one point it was Rakani, and at another point it was YKK. And right now they're doing the Rick Owens branded zipper. This one is from 2018. And I'm not sure if it was fall, winter 2018 or spring, summer, but it was definitely 2018 because as you can see the zipper here, that E18 represents the year. And you have the Rick Owens logo right there in the tongue. And one of the issues with the Mainline Ramones, I don't know if it's just certain seasons or if it's all of them, but the sole, the midsole right here, it'll get this like pink kind of color, which I'm getting on mine. I don't know if you guys can see it on the camera, but the midsole, especially when you see it under like strong lighting, like say sunlight, you can see that it's kind of pink in the top here, and it's kind of blue in the bottom. And I've heard people say that it's the dye that they use in the leather will kind of seep into the midsole and it'll stain it. And I've seen that with Geo baskets as well. Geo baskets and Mainline Ramones, you get that staining on the midsole, which is from the dye of the leather. So it'll get kind of pink. And I'm definitely getting that with these shoes here, getting that pink color. Not a huge deal, especially like if you're out at night or something, you can't really see it. Like I said, you really see it when you're under like direct light, like if you're in sunlight or if you have a light right above you in a very well lit room and you're really looking at it close, you can see it. So it's not a huge deal, but you know, it does happen. That's something that I've never seen on a dark shadow, and it wouldn't happen on a dark shadow because it doesn't have that dye in the leather, but you get that with the Mainline. And another difference between the Mainline and the dark shadow is the Mainline has 7 eyelets and the dark shadow has 8. And the shape of the dark shadow is actually not the same. They're a little bit different. Let me actually get my dark shadow here so that we can compare them and I can show you the differences here. So this is my dark shadow denim Ramones, which I've reviewed on the channel before. If you haven't seen that video, you can check it out after this. And see if I can show you guys the shape of this. It's a little bit different. You can see the eyelets right here. So this one has 7 and this one has 8. It is a little bit higher, but not much. The height difference is barely noticeable, but there is a little bit of a difference there. And the tongue sticks out a lot higher, and it's also just kind of looser. Like the tongue on the Mainline is shorter, and it's really stitched in there, and it usually doesn't really move at all. It's just kind of curved like this and just stuck to that position, whereas the dark shadow kind of sticks out a little bit more. It's just higher and sticks out more. And the shape of it is very different as well. The dark shadow is very like slim fitting as it goes up. You know, the curve right here, it kind of gets slimmer and hugs your ankle a little bit better. It's something that I don't know if you guys can even see it on camera, but when you wear it on feet, you can definitely see it and you definitely feel it when you're wearing them. Whereas the Mainline is just a little bit wider right here. You know, this part is just really wide, and on the dark shadow, it's just a little more slim fitting right here as it goes up. This kind of goes up a little more vertical, whereas the dark shadow has a little bit more of a curve to it. It kind of goes like this a little bit more. And like I said, I don't know if you guys can see it on camera, but you definitely see it in person, and you definitely feel it and see it when you're wearing the shoes. It's almost like, imagine like a pair of denim, like you have like a skinny jeans and just like regular fit. It's kind of like that is kind of how I see it. It's like this is like a slim fit, you know, kind of slim right here on the ankle, and then this one is just really wide right there. So that's a big difference between the dark shadow and the Mainline as well. I don't know why those differences are there, but I definitely like the way the dark shadow fits around my ankle a little bit better. It's just more form-fitting. And I also like that the tongue is a little bit higher. I think that's a really unique touch to the shoe, and it makes the Ramones very unique, you know, because it kind of has that Converse type of styling, and it's something it gets compared to a lot. And you know, this is one of the big differences between us. This is something that really makes the Rick Owens shoes stand out in my opinion is those kind of designs, like the tongue sticking out, and you know, it just looks really cool. It's cool from the side, you know, you see that big tongue right there, and you get it a little bit with the Mainline, but not as much. It's just different. So those are the main differences between the dark shadow and the Mainline: the 7 eyelets versus the 8, the height of the tongue, the fitting right here around the ankle. At least for the high version, you know, we're not talking about the low tops. I don't have the low tops. I've always worn the high because I just like how they look way better. I think it's a lot more unique and it just stands out a lot more. And whereas the low top is just more casual, and I like them. I like them a lot. I'd love to have both if I could, but if I have to pick between the high and the low, I'm picking the high, and that's why I have the high. And so yeah, those are the differences. The fit right here, the eyelets, the tongue, trying to think if I remember. Oh yeah, and the insole too. The insole. The dark shadow has an insole, removable insole, and the Mainline does not. You just get that really, really hard walk. So, you know, if you don't put an insole in it, which I didn't, I kind of got used to it, but it is a pretty hard walk. I mean, it's like I said, it's like tap on a wooden table. That's what it's like. You know, there's no cushioning, there's nothing. And the sizing, like I said, you definitely want to size down because the lack of that insole, even though, you know, if I measure the two soles, like the dark shadow and the Mainline, you get a 42 on both. They're the same, but the fit is different. I think because that insole wasn't there, taking up room inside. So definitely want to size down on these. And yeah, that's it. Those are the Mainline Ramones. Really, really love these shoes. Don't wear them as often as the dark shadow for, I guess, mainly because of the comfort. And I just love how the dark shadow looks, that slim fitting around the ankle and everything. I like how this one looks too, but you know, for day-to-day use, I just kind of prefer the dark shadow. But I do love the Mainline as well. And if I'm going out to, you know, something a little more upscale maybe, or I'm going out at night or doing, you know, I use them for different activities, but then I'll go for the Mainline because that leather is just awesome. And especially this one that has like that shiny leather on it, that distressed leather, it's just incredible. So those are the shoes. Let's do an on feet for you guys, and then we'll wrap up this video. Alright, so those are the Mainline Ramones from 2018 with the black distressed leather. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure you leave a like on this video, subscribe to the channel, because when you leave a like, when you subscribe, it really helps to grow the channel, helps me with the whole YouTube algorithm so that more people can find these videos, and the more the channel grows, the more time I can dedicate to making more videos like this for you guys. So hope you guys enjoyed it, and I'll see you on the next one. Thanks.